ourselves into champs. Like also Stake coming in for RNG as well, transferring over from the other squads there, coming on over, along with the other members of Flash Wolves we've seen as Sword Art and Maple and such. But we're into pick and bans. LGD going to be on your blue side, RNG going to be on the red side, and starting things off, it's going to be the Karma, Olaf, and Irelia taken off the table from LGD as RNG respond with an Aatrox and a Jarvan.
Yeah, so there's still a lot that's available here. We'll have to see what this last ban from RNG is going to be, but instantly my mind goes towards, I was going to say the Jace, Silas, Akali, even that Nautilus support is a big one here as well. It looks like it is going to be the Silas that's prioritized from LGD. So I think we're going to see, I would be surprised not to see this Nautilus picked up here on the RNG side. And looks like they're going to be looking towards their jungler. Rek'Sai is the first pick for me, but I know that a lot of LPL has been prioritizing the Jarvan instead.
Yeah, we'll see here. The Silas is going to get picked up for LGD. That's going to be the first pick up here. RNG currently hovering out the Rek'Sai, and that's going to get locked in here for Karsa. We've been seeing a decent amount of Rek'Sai, and also the Nico getting locked in here, Gosu.
Yeah, that was one that I didn't actually touch on. Nico has been working wonders now with the new style build that we're seeing coming in. Glacial Augment in towards that GLP 400 and the Twin Shadows means that you're pretty much always hitting that Pop Blossom, and you've got an incredible amount of utility that you can bring to the team as well. Could see it go towards Xiaohu, but also has been played in the top lane, so it could be something Lang X looks to put into their lane.
Yeah, for Kramer, though, it is going to be that Lucian getting locked in, so going to have that available for him. You saw the drawing earlier. Well, he's going to be able to play it himself. And final pickup here for LGD before we get into our second ban phase. Currently looking at possibly the Galio, instead opting in for another big boy. It's going to be the Nautilus getting knocked in.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be big boys galore in the bottom lane. Once you see the Nautilus locked in, you won't be seeing anything like that Yuumi going towards there. Just the heavy engage that Nautilus offers and all that CC means it's a difficult matchup to kind of be put into. I don't want to say on your own, because it's not really like that, but you kind of feel like you're on your own when you're in a Yuumi lane.
Yeah, we'll see here as we get into our next bans. RNG picking up the Galio for themselves and then opting to ban out the Elise, so looking toward the jungle still, as that Jarvan ban was out earlier, and they already picked up that Rek'Sai, so going to try and maybe limit Condi's champion pool. We'll have to see here, though, what LGD wants to respond with. You can see that Nico possibly going up toward the top, or even we've seen it down in bot lane before. I doubt Uzi's going to be playing it. That would be a bit of a stretch. Let's see here.
Yeah,
LGD going to be banning out the Saber.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen the AD Nico. I think realistically here we'll be looking towards RNG, maybe getting rid of something like, I was actually looking towards the Sejuani maybe here. There's a huge amount of CC that's over on the LGD side, and I think just having that full commitment towards at least the team fight could have been a bit of a struggle for RNG to deal with, but it looks like they want to get rid of that Gragas instead. Could be going down towards the bottom lane. I mean, we used to see a lot of Gragas support down in the LPL, but I don't think it'll be this time around. Definitely still focusing heavily towards that jungle pick. And with so many picks going for our AD carry bans going over from the side of LGD, Kai'Sa is a bit of a no-brainer here.
Yeah, you might as well lock in that Kai'Sa for here. Oh, that gets locked in immediately here by LGD. That's going to be a Nocturne coming out here. And okay, if you're giving me a Jax too, you're spoiling me. All right, a Hecarim makes a little more sense, but this Nocturne getting locked in with the Hecarim.
Yeah, the Nocturne really surprises me, particularly when you see the Galio on the opposite side. You kind of think, okay, CC isn't Nocturne's best friend when you want to try and dive in and just remove someone. Uzi's also going to be a bit of a difficult target to try and lock down, because once you get towards those two items, you have that invisibility coming through on your E, so you're able to move around a lot more freely. You don't really want to be jumping on towards the Nico either, because she's going to be just pop that Pop Blossom very, very quickly, and you're going to be bad news bears for this Nocturne. So we'll have to see exactly how Condi does want to go forward with this. And it's a little bit of a strange one for me. I always prefer Condi on these champions where you're able to get in pre-level 6 and have this big potential to get these ganks off. This isn't something that you really get on the Nocturne. You have to kind of hang on until that level 6 point, and it will give Karsa the opportunity to have the run of the map pre-level 6, and that's pretty much where Rek'Sai shines.
Yeah, I'll see here. It's going to be that Galio going into the bot lane with the Kai'Sa, Nico in the mid lane, and then Lang X going to be on the Renekton. So we'll see how he can perform. I know we enjoyed Xiao All back when he was out on his carries on Suning. Did very well with the team. Kind of liking this from RNG too, because I was very interested what kind of shift we'd see from the team picking up Lang X formerly known as Xiaoal, because again, Xiaoal, he was kind of known as either he's all there or he's all not there at times. He can be one of the best top laners in the LPL, and he can look like he should be in the LDL. So seeing him onto a carry, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to show here.
And I know the Renekton as well was something that Clemenchu was calling for, really wanted to see this pick come through. Now we're getting the opportunity to see it in the hands of Langx. And it's a champion that did get a few buffs though, going their direction, really can control that early stage of the game. And that looks like what RNG want to go for. When I see a Rek'Sai, I see a Renekton, I see even a Nico that's very strong in those early stages of the game. This is where RNG are going, look, we're going to try and skirmish, we're going to try and fight nice and early. And when you look at the game times that we've seen coming out from LPL, we never really get past the mid game. So going for a team like this that RNG have opted for, that's strong in the mid game, works out wonders. The big issue that I'm seeing here, though, is LGD's just team fight is terrifying. Hecarim, with the onslaught of shadows, can dive towards the back line. You can pair that with Condi as well. It makes it a little bit more difficult to try and dissuade that engagement. Sylas as well is just a nuisance. Now, there isn't a huge amount of ultimates on the opposite side for him to work with, which I think RNG have done a great job of doing, but Sylas is still just such a pain in those team fights.
Well, we'll see here. We're going to go ahead, load on to the Rift. It's going to be game one between LGD and RNG. RNG looking to crash in on the home venue of LGD after both teams were able to walk away with the victory in their first series of the split here, and we'll see how this one pans out here. LGD looking to group up as 5 toward the bot side. RNG, though, they're not even thinking about invading.
Yeah, the LGD parade through the jungle right now, trying to see if they can spot out anyone from RNG, but I don't think they really want to go too aggressive at this early stage. It really is going to be waiting for Karsa to get rolling, and I want to see where both these junglers start. It makes a lot of sense for Karsa to start off on this top side of the map. For anyone who hasn't been keeping up, the jungle offers more XP on the top side of the map, on that red side, sorry, in these games. So what you want to be doing now is clearing out your red, going towards the Krugs, clearing out that Raptors as well, and just get these camps to start respawning as soon as possible, so you can start to hit that level 3, level 4 very quickly, and have a slight advantage over the enemy jungler when those Skull Crabs start to spawn at that 315 mark. So looks like both those junglers are going to be going for that clear. I'll have to see, though, if they'll end up clashing or whether they want to try and go for some early ganks.
And there we go. Get to see some of the Keystone choices here. I'm going to do a quick shout out there to my boy Ender over in Lek. He's going to be loving the Hail Blades Rek'Sai coming out. Get to see that every once in a while. Over in Southeast Asia, back in LST, we often saw it with the Conqueror, but likely we've been seeing it a lot more with the Hail of Blades here in China when the Rek'Sai's picked up here. And let's take a look at the stats from the Colonel himself, just based off the team comps. He's given the favor over to LGD, only a little bit though, just based off just the compositions. Pretty much what that graphic is, he looks at the win rates of the champions picked and then kind of averages out. It's a little weird, but he's saying, you know, LGD, they got that team fight like you were saying.
Yeah, we'll have to see, though, if they can try and make it through this early game. This is what I was keeping an eye on these junglers here. Karsa clearing out the Krug second, was looking to see if they could try and make something happen on the top side of the map, but not quite able to do so. Renekton pushing in a little bit too far, Lies not wanting to get caught out by that early gank. We'll try and get in and put some pressure down onto Condi now. I will have the support of the Renekton if they need to, but in the bot lane.
RD getting a little too close for comfort. Uzi's not able to finish off the kill. Did burn the heal, but RD is going to be down both the Ignite and the Flash on the Nautilus, so might not have that right one for the level 6, but early aggression coming out from LGD, not paying off here. Karsa's maybe looking for a possible play up here toward the top lane for RNG. Another hook coming out. Man, he's Spider-Man on Uzi, because once again getting the hook onto the Kaisa. Flash on forward from Kramer. He's not able to finish off the kill, though, as Uzi survives.
That was incredibly close, though. I'm not sure how Uzi managed to survive that. And RD is playing so well on this Nautilus, and this is why you put that early priority on this pick. Incredibly strong, and once that hook goes out, it's nigh on impossible to miss it. The hitbox on this thing is ridiculous.
So, nice aggression there from LGD. Even without the Flash or Ignite, they're going to force Uzi to have to back, so he's only going to be able to get himself a longsword on that first back there. So maybe Kramer can try and sneak in maybe a pickaxe or something. No, he's opting to back himself, a bit too low, so not a huge advantage, but good early signs here from LGD's bot lane.
most certainly. And this is exactly what they want to do, and why we wanted to highlight the bottom lane as well. I mean, Kramer has been the key carry for LGD, now getting a lead against Uzi early, and as well having RD, who has been playing incredibly well in the previous game up against WE, and now bringing it up against RNG's bot lane as well. That is, I mean, it's the staple of RNG has been this bot lane. For LGD to be outperforming them in this early game speaks wonders about what this team is capable of.
We'll see here. Nocturne going to go on down toward the bot side once again. Still no early pressure from either of these junglers, both just waiting out for that level 6. And like you mentioned, we want to see what Condi's going to do once he hits that level 6, where he's going to try and make an impact onto the map. Slight CS advantages here and there in different lanes. A little bit of one growing here for Xiaohu, about a wave up. Did go on back, both him and the Silas, so both using teleport to get back into the lane. Karsa pathing straight toward this top lane here.
Yeah, I think this is where they want to try and put most of their pressure. If you can get this Renekton going early, has that snowball potential to try and beat out Lies. Will just about be spotted though, so that's going to be a bit unfortunate, but they're going in anyway.
To jump it in, Hail Blades doing a decent amount of damage. Lies, he ends up going the wrong direction there, and Karsa going to be able to pick up first blood here on the Rex side.
And it's such an easy setup when you are going for that gank there. You can see LangX gets the sun, means you've got the easy knockup that comes in from Karsa, and there's not a huge amount that you can really do here. Lies tries to get out of there, but hasn't hit that level 6 point. No flash available, and it's going to be a quick kill going over towards RNG.
And on top of that, too, that was right after both top laners using their teleport to get back into lane. That's going to allow LangX to push the wave in, deny that farm, and also get himself about a 12 CS advantage. So a nice start here for the top lane of RNG. Wanted to see what he was going to be able to do on that carry. And so far, so good here. 6 minutes. That's the 1 kill advantage going on over to RNG. Only an 800 gold lead. Going to be interested to see what kind of pressure we start to see toward the bot side of the map, because there is that Infernal Dragon going to be spawning here quite shortly. Is actually already on there. So RNG maybe already looking to position themselves possibly toward the objective.
Yeah, they can see now that Kramer and RD have backed, so just try to get some sort of vision control in and around this objective. Especially with Karsa just having hit that level 6 point, they want to see if they can try and abuse Yuki in the mid lane.
We'll see here, though. Yuki's still playing pretty safe. Karsa's around the corner. Oh, goes for the Q. Gets a little bit greedy there. Gets this dash, but unfortunately, it's a knock up into a snare. And Xiaohu going to be able to pick up the kill. 2 kills now in favor of RNG as they open up that gold lead to 1,500.
And this is what you have to do when you lock in that Nocturne. You've got to cede control of the map over towards the earlier aggressive jungler. And Karsa's been taking full advantage of that. Steals away the blue in the early game, so Condi's a bit more delayed on hitting that level 6 point. And now has picked up 2 kills for the side of RNG as well. This is going to help solidify a nice early advantage for themselves. But now they've got to see if they can get down towards that bottom lane. Try and swing this back over in favor of RNG. And maybe then you can work towards that Infernal Drake.
See here, Condi's pathing his way on over. Does have that level 6 available on the Nocturne, red buff as well. RNG, though, not going to push with the wave, instead opting to back off. There's the control ward just behind the red of Condi's jungle, so maybe anticipating that Nocturne's nearby. Also possibly seeing Yuki path down the river, as you can see on the minimap. Karsa's looking to answer here in case Condi decides to pull the trigger, and I think RNG are waiting for this.
They are most certainly prepped for this. Silas is hovering around, so you still have to be relatively careful. Condi,
oh no,
definitely looking for this. There's the hook.
Gets the hook onto Uzi, and Uzi going down extremely low. He's going to get taken out. It's going to be a trade. The jungle for the AD carry. Karsa, though, coming out of the ground, able to find another knock up here onto Kramer. That's going to be a triple kill on this Rex side, popping on forward. But Yuki, with the Silas, steals that ultimate away and going to use it in front. Actually gets in front of Ming, preventing him from being able to dash away. The flash is going to be used from the Galio. And in the end, it's a bloody one. It's going to be 3 kills going in favor of RNG for 2 on the side of LGD.
But it was a decent turnaround. That could have been absolute disaster for the LGD side. Yuki, though, does get down in time to try and help out. Will end up costing them quite a bit in this mid lane, though. Xiaohu has managed to get a good amount of these turret plates, starting to solidify a nice lead for themselves. 20 CS, couple of terror plates, and they're pretty even on the kills. Means that this Nico's going to be a bit of a menace when it comes to this later stage of the game. But this was a great call coming through from RNG, realizing, look, LGD want to make a play in this bottom side. This is the lane that's winning, and if we can get Karsa down here in time, we can utilize the advantages that Karsa's already gained for RNG. Unfortunately, Yuki well, I'm going to say unfortunately, Yuki plays that immaculately, getting that Rek'Sai ultimate to dodge away from the knockup from Ming, and means that they're able to get at least something back in favor for LGD.
Yeah. It is a decent shutdown actually going on over there to Yuki, so gonna have some extra gold on that Silas, but that is gonna be the Infernal Drake here, picked up by RNG as Karsa makes his way back down toward that bot lane, so that's gonna be their first one of the game. Gonna be looking to stack up some of those stats. They're also gonna have a mountain available for the next go around if they decide to keep tabs on our dragons. So quick recap, it's a 2 to 5 in the kills, but RNG still have themselves a decent gold advantage. It's 2,500 at 9 minutes. It's a little concerning here for LGD because right when you got that mid game here for RNG, that's where they're supposed to spike. And like you mentioned, the game times have been pretty short here in the LPL. On average, I think it was 29 to 33 minutes for most teams.
Yeah, which is incredibly short. So you're not even getting the opportunity to really get towards, I'm going to say in quotation marks, the late game champions. We're seeing very much this all in on the mid game. And if RNG are already winning out early, it makes it a little bit more difficult for LGD to try and bring it back. The good news for any LGD fans in the chat, though, is that LGD have this fantastic skirmish composition. If they can start to get a couple of these fights, get lies as well involved in those fights, they should be able to turn hopefully some of these back around if it's done in the next few minutes. The big issue that I'm seeing though is with that Infernal Drake off the board, it's going to be another couple of minutes before we have a dragon on board that they can try and fight around. So unless they're looking towards an early Rift Herald, which I'd be surprised at, there's not really anywhere that they can force scraps out of RNG.
Yeah, you can see there Uzi and Ming looking to pressure here onto this tower. Still have yet to get themselves a tower plate. Going to continue pushing that in. Condi is nearby, though, on this Nocturne. Could look for a play. Instead, he goes back to farming up his Krugs. Up in top lane, there was also a little bit of a skirmish that we missed out on. Lang was going for a dive, actually, onto Lies. Look at Karsa here, though. Already tracking this Nocturne, knows pretty much where he is. Is might even going to wait for him. They also got Xiaohu. They might spring a trap.
You can see the pings are going down, though, saying, look, we have no idea where this Nico has gone to. And I think they're going to sniff that something is up. Yeah, Nocturne dropping away from the jungle, not wanting to get caught out, especially with the entirety of RNG actually on the move here.
They might just go for this here. Xiaohu going to pop out here. Gets themselves the quick stun, but not going to be able to turn anything else there. As Carson not really in the mood to try and go for a dive here on a Silas when he could just steal his ult and ult him. So... Look at this, though. LGD.
I got a bit worried.
They're going for a straight up lane
I got a bit worried for Yuki there when I saw everyone from RNG moving, even at Alang X trying to get down. So you can see RNG desperately want to try and push this advantage that they have, get some of these early towers, and then see if they can just out macro LGD. Not really give them the opportunity to go for these team fights we're talking about.
Oh, look here. LGD, they're going to try and go for this Rift Herald possibly. They got themselves 4 members. They went for that very early lane swap even before the tower went down. So with all 5 members, this should be an easy take. Karsa could look to try and steal it away. Would be a bit of a risky one. That or RNG might just try and force a play. And just with that ward trinket coming out, is enough to force him back. RNG going to get back on over there. It's going to be the Nocturne ult. Nobody can see a darn thing. Rift Herald's going to go on over to LGD, but at what cost here from RNG? Nice turnaround. Nice ult coming out from Ming. Goes into stasis. That's going to be the Pop Blossom coming back out from Xiaohu. Uzi's able to trade back a kill. This Karsa has yet to really do a whole lot here. Double kill now onto the Kaisa as Uzi's able to reposition him toward the side. Lang X also able to find himself a kill. Kramer trades one back. He's waiting for his cooldowns. Tries to get on over. Uzi, though, is going to flash over the wall. Unfortunately, just running away with a sliver of life. The red buff's gonna also eat up the quick seeker. Uzi, though, should be able to finish off this kill. Looks like Kramer's trying to go for a very late execute, but Karsa's around the corner. He's gonna tag him, and Kramer, fortunately, he's got to give the kill on over to someone.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Trying to see if they could get the execute, but on the wrong side of town means that it will eventually go over. So RNG win the fight, but they lose out on that Rift Herald. Now we'll have to see if they can at least get something back for the LGD side using that Rift Herald, but it's going to be a tough one. I mean, where do you even try and throw this one down? We're going to rewatch this fight, though, and it was a very messy one. They try to get on towards their next to burst them out, managed to get the slice and dice back out. They pick off Karsa very early, which is a big issue for RNG, as a lot of their kills are on that. And I really thought that Kramer was going to have the opportunity to turn this around. But Uzi managing just about to avoid that hook means that they're able to dish out all the damage that they really need to in this early game. That Akati and Rain doing so much work in this team fight.
Well, turret plane's gonna fall down here, and look, Lang X, he's trying to go for the interrupt, doesn't get it in time, unfortunately, so that's gonna be the Rift Herald knocking on the door of this bot lane tower, and that should be the first tower of the game from the looks of it. They're gonna force multiple members down here on the side of LGD. RNG, they're gonna try and turn this one back around. Lang X gonna be able to get himself the quick knockout. There's gonna be a teleport coming on in as long with the Nocturne ultimate. Paranoia, no one can see a thing. Carson's gonna get taken on down. It's a nice snare coming out, decent amount of damage, and Yuki's gonna get taken on down as Lang X is gonna get the kill credit with the help of the tower, so it's gonna be a 1-for-1. They're still looking for this first turret though, as it's crashing in. Does Ming decide to try and pull the trigger and get a multi-man taunt? Looks like LGD though are gonna go ahead and back off.
And that's because Uzi's pushing in towards this mid lane, actually looking to pick up the first tower of the game for RNG. Will be able to secure that for their side, but they might be looking towards a fight now as LGD start up this dragon.
LGD, it looks like they're in a bit of a panic here. That's going to be the Hecarim ultimate coming out. Pop Blossom is going to be popped, goes on over. Dragon is secure, but here comes Uzi on the back line with the killer instinct, able to find himself some kills with the help of Xiaohu, but it's just not going to matter as he gets melted as they turn back. Lang X trying to delay this fight as long as possible. Here comes Karsa. It's going to be the 1v1 against Yuki. He's going to go ahead, flash on over the wall. And it's a messy bout between both squads, both losing 4 members. In the end, though, Mountain Drake does go on over to LGD.
And this is an incredibly bloody game coming out from both sides, and team fights really are decided by a matter of milliseconds. You can see RNG try to get Uzi into the pit to get this big team fight off, but unfortunately LGD just go, Uzi? Kai'Sa? Cool. Everyone flash. Everyone get onto this Kai'Sa. We do not want them dishing out any damage at all. You can see here, Lies tries to get the onslaught of shadows to set things up, and unfortunately Kramer ends up going over the wall directly into a Pop Blossom, loses half their health to start things off, which gives an easy Acathian Rain for Uzi to set things up. LGD then realized we've got this AD carry that's caught in the pit. Everyone flash forward to try and get the kills, but with Karsa arriving here, Yuki realizes, look, this fight's over. I'm going to take my loss. I'm going to hop out of this one. So a 4-for-4 when all is said and done, but the dragon goes over to LGD.
It's nicely done there. Still, though, it's going to be a 3,500 gold lead for RNG. Uzi and Ming going to rotate themselves into this mid lane. 16 minutes on the clock. That first tower being taken here by Uzi. So he got himself a nice injection of gold, sitting about 1,000 above Kramer. So we saw the gold stats pop up there for quite a second. We'll see what he's going to be able to do. Lang X deciding to go back down toward this bot lane. Going to go ahead and clear that out. Try and get some split push going. Same with Xiaohu, it appears. Going to be met with Yuki. So mid laners against top laners. And Uzi maybe looking for a play, but decides to go back toward that mid lane.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the items that have been picked up here. So we got the Blade of the Rune King coming in from the Lucian, but after that it looks like Kramer's having a bit of an identity crisis here. Not sure if they should be going towards the Infinity Edge with that cloak, or whether they want to go over towards the Essence Reaver, which is the more standard build that we're seeing coming out from the Lucian. So we'll have to see exactly what they do decide to prioritize here. Maybe realizing, look, I'm not really getting enough of enough damage off in these fights. I'm trying to dodge away from too many abilities that are coming in from RNG. I just want to be able to crit my way and see if I can burst someone out before the fight really kicks off.
Yeah, interesting too. From Uzi, we are seeing not the Muramana build coming out from the Kai'Sa that we usually have been seeing from time to time. Especially China, they don't. You know what? Tier, that doesn't give you offensive stats. All right, that seems to be the mentality over here. Like you could use another pickaxe to do some more damage. That's the secret right there. So opting.
Yeah, a lot of people have been offering towards the Muramana, and I like that. But I think in this specific situation, when you look at Condi and Lies, who are definitely going to be trying to dive on towards Uzi, having that little bit of an extra slow come out from the Storm Razors should help in just kiting ability, and especially if Ming is trying to deal with so many different threats from Yuki, from RD, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to try and lock down some of the targets that are going for Uzi. So having a little bit of self-peel never really hurt anyone. And especially when we see how much damage Uzi's dishing out already in these team fights, it doesn't make a big difference if it's going to be the Muramana or something else.
RD, he wasn't able to hook himself away. He missed the wall, and he's just going to get taken down there. And like you mentioned, that Nico combo, you get the Spooky Ghost out, you get the Glacial Augment. There's really no running away from that, especially if you're missing your Nautilus hook.
And that's the problem, is that once those ghosts do end up pulling you down, it's pretty much a case of you're going to be joining them very, very quickly. You can't escape from them, especially Twin Shadows, GLP, Glacial Augment. It's just
Oh,
slows
jeez.
for days. It pretty much might as well be like a 5-second CC.
Pretty much. That's what Xiaohu's going for here. LGD looking to position themselves at least to secure their first tower of the game down here toward the bot lane, as that's going to bring a little bit more gold back into their pocket. Meanwhile, though, top lane, it's going to be answered here by RNG, and no one's going to be there to stop it. So still RNG ahead by 1 tower overall when it comes to the map score. As we approach 20 minutes here, it's also going to be Baron joining us, and we're going to also have another Infernal Drake, too, that's going to be up for contention. But honestly, when either one of these objectives come out, we've seen both of these teams now. They're not afraid to fight. We saw a 5-man Rift Herald at 14 minutes goes through. I think anything's on the table here for both of these teams. They're both going to fight for it.
Yeah, I nearly feel like these fights, every single time they happen, are kind of limit testing to see, do we win now? Is this a case? I'm not sure how this works.
Is this our breaking point?
Incredibly close. Exactly, yeah. And I think for LGD, it's much more apparent that this is what they're trying to do, especially because you're trying to go, okay, is Hecarim big enough to kill someone with Condi? Is that the case? Can we get Uzi? Can we get Xiaohu before that Pop Blossom goes? Great. Now we turn around these team fights. And unfortunately, it just hasn't quite hit that point yet, but with Lies completing that Triforce and Condi as well completing that first item, I think they could be in good shape. Maybe that this is the team fight, but if Lies gets caught out, that's a very different story.
There you go. It's going to be the Nocturne ultimate going straight onto Karsa. He's going to get away with that Infernal Drake. Uzi's able to tag a target, can Killer Instinct into the fight, but that would be a bit of a suicide mission. Instead, RNG, they pick up the Infernal Drake and they back off here. And another thing we've seen, or they might just go for a cutoff here. RNG's looking to try and race them around the corner, and LGD, they're caught out here toward the side. They can't defend this mid lane that's about to get pushed in here by Uzi.
And they used a lot of ultimates from LGD as well. The likes of the Nocturne ultimate. You've got the ultimate that came in from the Nautilus as well. They're now in a bit of a precarious situation, and RNG know that.
Yeah, they're able to beat themselves to the tower, but unfortunately, they're not able to get a whole lot of damage, down to about half health. But look at this, RNG just looking to cut off paths. They get them down some wards. See if LGD decide to try and roam their way up toward this Baron and maybe even try and steal away this blue buff. A little bit of a greedy thought here. Let's see if they end up securing it. It is going to go on over to Karsa, so they're going to take that one away from Yuki. So overall, RNG starting to own a little bit of LGD's jungle, and LGD not too sure how to handle it.
Yeah, they are just going to have to give up at this stage. Well, not give up everything. I just mean for the next few minutes. Simply because of that ultimate usage that went through. They know they can't take the team fights. Condi is pretty much a null factor on a Nocturne if you can't be diving the backline. You're never going to get through Lang X or Karsa in the team fights. So take a step back. Give up control of the jungle for the moment. You can get it back once those ultimates have refreshed.
See here. RNG's, that's going to be Uzi and Ming heading up toward this top lane. We also got Karsa roaming his way on over on that mini-map, and to secure some pressure toward this Baron. Still a bit early on for that. It's 22 minutes. I say early, but like you mentioned, average game time for RNG is 29 minutes, so, you know, they're starting to get into their mid to late game. They're like, all right, what do we got to do to start closing this one out? We got themselves the 4,000 gold lead. What are we going to do, guys? There is for Condi.
I love when League of Legends...
I love
when League of Legends gets to the point where it's just, I've got an item and my half, let's just finish this. I'm full build, let's go.
If only it was that easy. Solo queue would be a dream. If all I had to do was hit an item and a half, man, that would be a dream here in China. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that, Gosu over here. It's a bit of a rough time here in Chinese solo queue. Overall, though,
nope, we have both teams posturing here.
They're trying to set up a little bit of that ARAM. A lot of that vision control, though, goes on over to RNG, and you can see when that vision is toggled. LGD, it's a big, scary void that they don't really know what's in there. They can assume it's RNG, and they're usually right here, as they've not been able to push this ward line into the river for the past 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a tough one here. RNG do have complete control over this side of the map. You can see that LGD have managed to get some sort of control back in their own jungle, but definitely still a lot of red wards there, and you do not want to go in against this RNG lineup for exactly that reason. We're already talking about it. The Twin Shadows, the GLP, there's a lot of CC, and if you get caught out a multi-man Pop Blossom, it could spell disaster for LGD.
Yeah, Kramer getting a little aggressive there, dashed forward, ended up using his Bork onto Ming. RNG just back off there. Yuki did steal the Nico ultimate, so we'll have that Pop Blossom for a response. Condi has finished off his GA as well, so can look to try and dive onto this back line, maybe try and blow up a carry and then resurrect after a short amount of time. Hopefully the team will follow up. We'll have to see though, as Karsa's just going to go ahead and clear out the Raptors. And finally, LGD get a little bit of breathing room here. They can look to try and clear out some of this vision in the Baron pit and try and reclaim some of that so RNG don't easily just take that.
I'm surprised to see RNG actually give up that space. I thought they would try and contest it, especially when you were just looking at how potent they are in the jungle, in trying to deny vision from LGD. They can catch people out very easily, but not having control now means that they've got to get back in there. It gives LGD a little bit more time, a little bit more, as you're saying, breathing room in this situation. But looks like LGD are doing the same thing. They don't want to try and protect this. We're just going to give control back to RNG and look to pick up a few of these bigger items.
See here, push is going to come out. So they let that crash into the wave. Everyone's going to head on back there. Also, Black Cleaver completed for Karsa. Starting to look toward maybe looking at that chain vest. So maybe going for a GA. Wants to possibly dive similar to Condi with his ultimate. Other than that, Essence Reaver, like you mentioned, was completed on the Lucian. Starting to get another Zeal item in there. Pop Blossom by Yuki. Just going to try and get rid of the ultimate. I think it was about to expire anyway. So not a questionable ultimate, but might be wanting to have that back here because honestly, he won't be able to steal an ultimate here for about 15 seconds.
I think he's trying to play mind games here with RNG, pretend that he had used that a lot earlier, but might be RNG calling the bluff here, trying to see if they can get the engage down, but unfortunately not quite able to get in onto LGD before that timer on Yuki's going to pop.
Yeah, it was a little cautious there, so deciding not to go for the full engage on the side of RNG. Karsa just going to go ahead, clear out some of the vision down toward the Ocean Drake as RNG still playing this mid lane push. Still winning on their side lanes. Bot lane still has that first tier tower, so RNG still a lot of work to do on the map if they really want to try and execute this kind of style, as they're just seeming to stall out the game. And, you know, for LGD, they're happy with that. Like you mentioned, that late game team fight, longer this game goes, it feels better for LGD.
Yeah, most certainly does. And you can see as well with Yuki picking up that Galio ultimate, the dive potential that they have for that backline becomes even more potent. And this is what RNG are really worried about. They want to try and come in from multiple angles, but LGD are pretty much running back and down up this river, seeing if they can get away from it.
Well, that's going to be the Nautilus ultimate being used as RD was caught out, going down extremely low. Galio ultimate coming out from Yuki. Going to try and help out Condi. Unfortunately, though, he's a little bit separated. Yuki jumps on in, but now he's just going to get torn apart here, actually, as that's Lies. A killer instinct coming out from Uzi. He dives in onto the back line, able to pick up the kill on Kramer. Condi going to get put into stasis as the GA is going to be popped. And finally, RNG, they pull the trigger. It's going to be a triple kill here for Uzi.
And that was just them getting caught out a little bit too far from the LGD side. RD tries to get the engage down, but RNG collapse. And then with everyone trying to focus on towards Xiao Hu, it leaves Kramer's vulnerable in the back line. Lang X takes that opportunity, dives directly onto Kramer, and almost picks up they end up picking up the entire team fight. Now they get the dragon, work straight towards that Baron as well. And LGD, just like that, they've cracked.
And on top of that, too, that's going to be all 5 members of RNG having that Baron available. No one on the team actually ended up going down. Let's take a quick look here toward this fight again, because it looked like RD just decided to go in when the rest of the team just did not.
Yeah, he'd been caught out here, was trying to get back over towards the team, was a little bit slow in the rotation. I think the big factor here was actually Yuki trying to help Condi out in this dive, not respecting the Xiao who had the invulnerability available, and that's 2 big ultimates over on towards Xiao who was happy to just have them sit there because he had the Pop Blossom already running, and then Kramer left vulnerable on the back line for this Renekton to gobble up easy as you like, and it's an easy victory in the team fight as well for RNG.
And that's a little bit demoralizing, too, for LGD, because that's such a messy fight that no one on RNG ended up going down. You now have to deal with 5 Baron buffs. You didn't take it off the top laner, so they couldn't do a split push. No, now RNG have full control of the map. So they have that beer buff, I guess you could say, for the Baron. I don't know why they picked that for it. But still, overall, it feels like you mentioned, LGD, they've started to crack a bit here, and it depends over the next couple of minutes how things go, and the Colonel is not even being nice. Oh, my Lord. 93%
oh my
Colonel. Please. They have families. Come on now.
And that's why they
Jeez.
should get a bucket from KFC.
Hey, there you go. RNG positioning themselves here for this push. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's nigh on impossible for LGD to try and stop this. Unfortunately, I think the target selection from LGD just hasn't really been there. They should have had Condi try to go on towards Uzi in that team fight. Then you could have had the ultimate come in from Yuki, and I mean, it's just a much easier target to try and burst down. Even with Uzi having that GA available, I think just getting that damage out of the fight would at least give you something, or at least get that big timer cooldown. That's the word I was looking for. A big cooldown down. And unfortunately, that's not the opportunity they've had. Yeah, English is a tough word, but I mean, you really got to look at it here. LGD not quite finding these team fights that they would have wanted to, and now RNG pressuring the base.
Yeah, looking for it here. Is Xiaohu going to send the clone out? LGD, they continue to just back off. They're going to wait to see what this team is going to end up trying to do here on the side of RNG. And bit of a sleeper here. Carso looking to just catch out Lies. Not going to be able to land the Q there to follow up with the ultimate. Now also having his own GA completed. Uzi also has it completed now. You got to kill this team a bunch if you want to try and come back here on LGD. And the way RNG has been playing these fights, minus one or two of them not going their way here and there, it looks like this might be the nail in the coffin as Ming's going to be able to catch out RG. And he's getting juggled around like a volleyball at that point. That Nautilus never hit the ground, and Uzi just jumps in. They're just going for the full dive, Gosu. They do not even care at this point as RNG. They're going to find 4 members of LGD, take down the inhibitor, and with these minions still alive, this should be game 1 going in favor of Royal. Never give up as they come into LGD's home venue and just make a statement here in game 1.
And what a manner to do it in as well. RNG, they were very back and forth in those early stages of the game, not really finding much control, but Karsa was immaculate in that early game, finding the advantages for RNG that let them just hold on and get a little bit more and a little bit more as the game started to progress. And it all culminated in that big fight in and around the dragon where they picked up everything, and the second they smelt blood in the water, RNG pounced and they close out game number 1.
Now let's take a look here at the post-game stats. 31 minutes, so a little bit of a longer one for RNG, only 2 minutes, but you can just take a look overall here. For Condi, he just wasn't really able to get the ball rolling on that Nocturne. He said that level 6, we wanted to see it happen. We wanted to see him try and push a lane. Fortunately, though, RNG, they were able to contain that, and they were prepared for it. We saw it a couple towns down toward that bot lane where Karsa was just waiting around in that brush, just waiting for that possible dive to come out. And it really felt like RNG read their game plan.
Yeah, they really did. The big surprise for me was that Nocturne pick, and I said it in the draft. I like seeing Condi on these picks that are a little bit have more aggression in the early stages of the game. Get something like the well, I know Jarvan was banned away, but the Jarvan, the Rek'Sai, you've got Olaf, you got the Sejuani, something that can at least have an impact on the map and get something rolling. And I just really didn't feel like they had a game plan coming into this. Yes, the dive buddy system is great, but unfortunately they couldn't really get that combo off or find a target that was really worthwhile taking out.
Yeah, you know, you got the buddy system there, but if all your buddies aren't actually together, you know, they're one guy's going in on Nautilus in mid lane, the other 2 are, you know, going into the river, and the other 2 are freaking, I don't know, using all chat at that point, flaming their teammates for not grouping together. It's not going to go well.
And then you've got Kramer as the teacher going, please just come back to the bus. Can we
come on? Can we just leave? I regret bringing you guys on this field trip. Either way, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, though, it's going to be game 2 of LGD taking on RNG.